Hi, hello, welcome to Cosmectical. Whether you're listening to me from YouTube, watching me on YouTube, or listening on podcast from Spotify or wherever, I'm so happy you're here. My name is Gosia. If you're listening to me for the first time, I'm super happy you're joining because today I will be talking about the gift of high sensitivity and generally the gift of sensitivity because that's what it comes down to. If you are a highly sensitive person, whether that's by being gifted in so many different ways, you have this high intensity of sensations when you are experiencing reality. Maybe you have high sensitivity to light, to emotions of others. Maybe you have high sensitivity to some foods that you feel like literally you get allergy when you eat some foods. When you're sensitive in general, this harmony that is happening wherever you are, and you can pick up so much from environment that other people just miss. Well, if that's you, the high chances are you're not seeing this as a gift. The high chances are you are overwhelmed. And I talk a lot about these things in my channel, but today specifically I want to talk about why this is a gift. And maybe you are listening to some high sensitivity coaches or reading to some books. By the way, I haven't read any, but I did read some Instagram posts of those coaches or thought leaders who say, yeah, this is such a gift that you're highly sensitive. And maybe, after the initial encounters with people who treated this as a flaw, this is a kind of relief, but you still are failing to see this as a gift. Now, this is normal. This is normal because, like I said in my other episode, in my previous episode, you can't see something as a gift that feels like a burden. Let's imagine a stereotypical guy who gives as a present to his wife maybe an air fryer, right? An air fryer, because he wants to eat air fried chicken. And the wife is like, what the hell? It's supposed to be my birthday or something like that. Why am I getting something that should serve another person, right? It's impossible for her to see it as a gift unless this is something that she really desired. But maybe if she's like vegetarian, if she doesn't like fried food or things like that, then she's gonna be like, the hell with this gift. How dare you give it to me and tell me that this is my gift? It actually causes more rage and anger, and I totally get this, because unless you can see something as a gift, unless you can fully claim and utilize something in your life to your advantage, it won't become a gift, right? It makes total sense. So how high sensitivity that you have seen as a burden until this moment can be a gift, really? How come these people tell you, oh my God, you have such a gift? Is it just to make you feel better? Because many people just say it so that you kind of elevate yourself from being flawed to feel someone special, but still don't give you a clue how to utilize this gift. And maybe you've even sensed some discordance when you heard this, like high empathy. Oh my God, this is such a gift. Okay, now to the point. Let me explain to you what sensitivity is serving. What is the use of sensitivity for a human being? Sensitivity is a sort of tool. It's like a gauge that tells you when you're out of whack. And what do I mean by this? Well, just like a thermometer outside your window can tell you what kind of temperature there is outside, it indicates what clothes you should wear. If by any chance the temperature dropped so significantly overnight and you are going to work or going out somewhere, the thermometer outside will tell you, hey, you better wear a jacket, or you better wear a scarf or something like that. If not, then you might hurt yourself, you might catch a cold, or you might feel bad, or you might suffer throughout the day if you don't have that extra layer. This is very similar with high sensitivity or sensitivity in that matter. The same goes for a GPS. GPS is this kind of tool that indicates whether you're on the right track or on the wrong track from your destination. And now we're getting somewhere after all this rumble. Well, what is the direction of your life? The direction of your life is to become fulfilled completely by being completely yourself, to live an authentic life aligned with your purpose, with your designed purpose, on your terms, authentically. It is living in your truth on what matters to you. Your values are those indicators, your desires, the things that are meaningful to you. All these things are kind of pointing to a certain direction. And all of us, we have some inherent design that we were born with. All of us have a certain number of traits. Yes, there is also the nurture part that makes our personality as it is, but there is an inherent design and purpose inside of us. And maybe these are the traits that you were exhibiting so early in your childhood that maybe no one even had taught you this. And maybe they were so different from your entire family that there's no way that you would have picked it up from someone or learned it from them, right? So these are some kind of indicators that you are a unique person with a unique design that you need to fulfill in your life, and this is your direction. Your direction also is, this is something we all have in common, is to be healthy, abundant, fulfilled, like I said, living in harmony and peace in our truth. But when I say healthy and abundant, this is in our original design of each of us. I'm not going to get deep into the obstacles that stand to stop you from feeling that way, which is basically the construct of reality that we are feeding into. But every human being is being indicated when something that obstructs health or remaining healthy or being abundant, being in peace, being harmonious, being in purpose, living in alignment, when any of obstacles arise, we and our sensitivity is indicating to us that we are on the wrong track. We are, if we continue going that way, as we do when you are uncomfortable, when your sensitivity is giving you some sort of signals, when you feel bad and icky in your body, when you feel tense, when you feel bad in the presence of someone, these all kinds of ways that your sensitivity is telling you something. It's telling you that if you continue that way, You are missing your destination. You are missing your mark. Let's welcome a moment of pause so that you can digest it. Whenever we feel uncomfortable in any sort of way, tense, stressed, repelled, resisting, all kind of ways, we are missing our destination to live as powerful, fulfilled, happy, healthy, peaceful human being like everyone is. You might say, like, this makes no sense. If everyone was supposed to live that way, and we are constantly be given all these reasons to be angry, to be taken advantage of if you are an empath, if you are being abused, or if you had some traumatic experiences in your life, you might say, what control did I have? Well, all the kind of situations or environment that present to us opportunity to feel uncomfortable, they mirror to us something about our internal view of this situation and our internal consciousness state at this moment. Now, I'm going to slow down because it's going to get a little bit tricky. This subject is a little bit more challenging, but bear with me. It's going to be worth its while because it's all about you claiming your gift of sensitivity so that you are not feeling like a victim of this thing. Let's not call it a gift just yet, right? Before you can see it. So all the situations are neutral. And even though you might think this person is really hurting me, this person is really mean, boss in my job is really an asshole, this job is really not aligned to me and is making me stressed, these are all relative. Some of them are inherently bad for you, which is again showing you misalignment on being on the direction, like perhaps that job that you are going to, and maybe it's showing to you that at some point you made a choice based on fear or low self-value. These are beliefs, okay? These are beliefs and emotions. So you took a choice, you made a decision to go to this job because you thought, oh, maybe that would be a compromising way so that I can get money and, you know, I'm gonna be doing whatever my passions on the side. But now you keep going to the same job and, you know, you're stressed and you keep seeing that it's not fulfilling you, right? So there are two ways. You can either keep going and reframe, change beliefs about this job, that you are not a victim of this job. Again, whenever we change beliefs, we can change our internal state and we can change the emotions, and we do whenever we see the same situations in a different way. A very simple way to notice this is to observe, like, is everyone equally unhappy in this job? Is everyone really stressed in this job? No, so this job is not inherently making people unhappy. It's something inside of you that sees this as an unhappy place, right? So there's two ways. You can change your job and follow maybe one of your passions, maybe art or maybe writing, maybe public speaking, maybe whatever, right? Or you can change your beliefs, you can reframe, you can cultivate your self-worth and validate yourself so that this job is not speaking anything to your mind about you. This job is not you. This job is not making you a victim. You, your thoughts, your old patterns of thinking are making you a victim to this job. It's an example. I'm not saying this is you, but it's a possible scenario that many people I've talked with have. Okay, so let's take another example so that we bring more clarity. And in this situation, how can you see your sensitivity as a gift? Well, first of all, your sensitivity brings up all these emotions, and sometimes a very small change in environment or in person's behavior can indicate to you something. It only indicates what is going on inside of you. It indicates that maybe this person is unhappy about me. Oh my God, it's indicating to me that I'm insecure about this position maybe. Or maybe that I feel like I don't belong here, that I have some sort of imposter syndrome. Or it's indicating to you that you have false belief that you need to drop everything right now to help that person who is huffing and puffing and requires your help, right? So the sensations you experience immediately indicate to you something about you, mostly. I would want to say that probably in 99.99% of all kinds of times, when you feel bad, let's simplify it, when you feel bad about something, it represents something unhealed in you. And you might say, what about that person that abuses me, right? How is that, representing something in me? And here I want to say that everything that is currently in your reality, everything that is in my reality, is something that we've designed by choices. Tiny choices every day, conscious and unconscious. Most of the time, these are unconscious choices that have built up over decades to present you with what you have right now. How is that working with that person that maybe has abused you or maybe is abusing you? How is that reflecting something in you, and how sensations are bringing that gift? Again, sensations are bringing you the gift of knowing through sensing. Through sensing is a language from your highest self that indicates you're off the track, you're off the direction. If you keep being in that situation, whether that's your internal situation of what you believe and think, or external situation of being with that person, if you continue going that path, you are not going to fulfill your destiny. You're not going to live aligned to your purpose. You're not going to be in alignment to your health, abundance, peace, and all that. So your sensations are talking to you. Now, what they're saying, it depends on the situation. In the situation with an abusive person, it has layers of understanding, and if you're not ready to hear it, you might not be ready to hear it. But what it shows, first of all, that there is some link to that person that attracts you to that person and that attracts them to you because of something that you're doing. Maybe that's your empathy, and again, it's not a burden. Maybe your empathy and how you're using your empathy. Maybe you're opening up to everyone who wants your resources of time, help, and you doing favors or, giving them your presence and whatever. So using your gifts is critical, how you use them. Now, if you open up with all your resources to an abusive person by design, this is a perfect field for them to prey on you, right? So it indicates, your sensations indicate there's something wrong in this situation. Of course, in the first instance, what we can do is physically separate from that person. Physically say to that person, I'm putting a boundary here. I'm drawing the line. You're not going to treat me like this. Or you withdraw your resources, with your resource of time. You be showing up for them or whatever, right? So physically. And at the same time, a person in this situation needs to work on healing the internal causes that made them be in this situation, that made them be taken advantage of and abused. Because not everyone is being abused by abusers, right? Who is not abused by abusers? People who are authentic, who stand by what they say, who say, hey dude, you're crossing the line, I'm not playing that way. And right in the beginning, they're drawing the line. The abuser is completely disinterested because it's not easy. They really go the easiest way. And also I talk about why boundaries are so hard for highly sensitive people. You might want to listen to it when you have the time. But again, it all comes down to really going inwards and seeing where you were susceptible to this situation. The physical situation, important, very important to take care of. But if you just clear the external situation, the physical situation, you're not changing the foundation, the patterns that you have that makes you attractive to people like that. Maybe low self-worth, maybe feeling the obligation to serve others, maybe codependency issues, enmeshment, and idealizing people because you are not loving yourself. So again, it's all about you. Now, I really want to signal here, because some people that are in these situations may not be completely prepared to hear what I'm saying. It's not your fault, what I mean. It's not your fault, but we become susceptible by our unconscious choices to be in certain situations. And the same way we became susceptible, it is now our responsibility to understand this so that you can become stronger and that you can become resilient and pick up on this situation at the first sensation. Again, this is a gift that you see this abusive person in your environment, or a new person with similar traits, and you can immediately by intuition feel, well, this is not a person for me. I've done this, I've worked through this, I'm not going into that situation. Now I can immediately kind of be in my authenticity, and their words that try to hook you or provoke you, you know, they won't hook you, because now you're resilient, you know what's going on, because you're listening to your sensitivity that gives you a signal, well, I'm not interested in this because it feels wrong to follow that person's cues, that person's whatever charm, or however they want to present themselves. You know it already, and you've fulfilled yourself already. So sensitivity is the indication how we need to go through our life. Exactly like GPS. Exactly like GPS, it works as a sort of information, constant feedback on, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? And if it's just you with you, maybe you trying to pursue a certain goal, and what comes up is the sensation of fear, because it's also sensation. Feelings are a sensation. And highly sensitive people have a lot of anxiety. Why? Because they resist the flow of the evolution, living their purpose fully because of their beliefs. I know it, I've worked through it, and it's a lifetime work and assignment for all of us to always watch out for our thoughts and beliefs whenever some sort of icky feelings come up. When you have an amazing idea that you want to pursue and immediately you feel fear. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. It actually indicates that you are blocking yourself by your beliefs from doing something that initially felt exciting. Excitement is a sensation that shows you that you are on the right track. I speak all about the language of negative feelings, negative emotions in my other video. I will link it here as well. But you really must understand that sensations, whenever they're uplifting, good, excited, they're showing you you're on the right path. It feels like you're like whizzing smoothly, like you're going for it, right? Whenever you feel anxiety and fear, this is when something internally comes up and it's like, oh, I'm afraid because XYZ. I'm afraid because I'm not deserving. I'm afraid because this doesn't pay bills. Like someone told you in your childhood that this job doesn't pay bills and you will never make money out of, following your passion or something like that. And then we need to inspect those beliefs. And because I'm in this subject, I got you. I also recorded a masterclass on beliefs. You can just take it and apply it in your life. So there's a whole masterclass. I talk for an entire hour how we can change our beliefs. And if you have these sensations that show you that you have maybe a belief of feeling unworthy, unlovable, incapable, or something about this world that is threatening you following your design, then I encourage you that you look into your beliefs, and you don't have to do it with my masterclass. Do it with whatever you can find, whatever you can get your hands on, that you can just follow and work through your beliefs. So now let's get this all together. How your sensitivity is a gift and how you can treat this as a gift. You will treat this as a gift when you start listening to your senses, when you become embodied. Embodiment and being present with your sensations, growing the capacity and resilience to observing your sensitivity, your emotions most often without judging them and avoiding them and trying to escape the other way and just like ignoring the situation, well, then you're not listening to your sensations. But when you listen to your sensations, you start recognizing what they're telling you. And when you start using them, as in you notice that the sensation indicates that you have a limiting belief, then you work through that belief and you embody your new self. All of a sudden, the same situation is not bringing up the same negative feelings. You see how magically it works? It helps you increase over time your well-being, because you become resilient to the situation. All of a sudden, you kind of vibe it out because it's not triggering to you anymore. You've worked through this lesson and now you can see the situation happen and you're just like, whatever, it's not triggering to me anymore. I feel safe. I feel good about it, right? Or, your sensations may indicate that some kind of food is not good for you, but you keep eating it, right? You keep eating this food, and well, if only you listen to it, you can avoid a lot of trouble. It's so simple, right? The same thing, using sensitivity to deal with people or life situation, working through the physical situation and inspecting inside of you what presents you that situation in the first place, why it is your lesson to learn. I talk a lot about sensitivity because it's something so misunderstood, and people are cursing their sensitivity because they don't know how to use it. But if you for a time, for a half a year, for a year, commit yourself to listen to your sensitivity, become embodied, like really become grounded and allow for these sensations to speak to you, because this is really your higher self speaking to you all the time, all day long. You can't believe how taken care of you are all the time when you start listening to your sensation and literally translating that language as I just, described to you. Therefore, from a person who feels like you're cursed by this sensitivity, like you feel so separate from everything else, like you feel abandoned and alone by having this curse, from that you literally become blessed and feeling like you are taken care of, like something is really watching for you by constantly giving you these sensations and indicating whether you're on the right track from really living your best life or whether you're following the wrong direction. And the high sensitivity is the highest gift of all, because it's so sensitive that it won't let you go too far, it won't let you stray too far before you already feel the discordance in the situation or in your thinking, and you can do something about this. This is really a gift. You are in a direct communication with the source, with your high self, with your source, with your highest self. How is this not a gift? Okay, so I invite you to ask me any questions if you have. I invite you to comment on what you've heard today, and I invite you to listen to the other videos or episodes that I will link in the description of this one, so you can deepen your understanding of what I'm talking about, so that you can really claim this high sensitivity as a gift. And if you want to know a little bit about the unconscious choices that we make all the time that create the reality that you live in, feel free to download my free guide that talks all about how to take the choices that are aligned to your highest self. Okay? So for now, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you very soon.